So, dear students of MA MSc 4th semester, I welcome you all in the lectures series on the course that I was teaching to you, category theory. So far in our previous lectures, we have discussed some basic stuff about category theory. We have discussed some examples of categories. So this lecture is on the duality principle. So we have seen in our previous lectures that given any category C, you can construct the opposite category of C, that is C opposite. Opposite categories are also sometimes called as dual categories. So duality principle is regarding the notion of dual concepts in category. Given any concept regarding morphisms or objects in a category, you can have its dual concept. So before going into the details of duality principle, just let us recall the definition of a dual category or opposite category. So first we will define the opposite category. It is also called as dual category. So for any category C, so C consists of the object class O, the set of arrows of between the objects, we call it home sets, home C, identities and composition. The dual or opposite category of C, the dual or opposite category of C is denoted by C opposite. So C opposite has the same set of objects, the same class of objects as of C. So O, home C opposite, identities and composition, but the opposite composition. So what does this home C opposite mean? It means that suppose I have an arrow A from an object A from an object B in C, that it would imply, it means that I have the same arrow but not from A to B. In this case it is from B to A. It means that F is from B to A in C opposite. In C opposite. So C and C opposite have same class of objects, same home sets, but the homes are in the reverse direction and the composition is also in the reverse order as of C. So this actually means that home C opposite of any two objects is nothing but home C, CA, BA. So home C opposite AB is nothing but home CBA. And F opposite composition with G is nothing but G composition F. So thus C and C opposite has same objects and except for their direction, the same morphisms or the same arrows, the same morphisms. Now let us see a few examples of opposite categories. So examples: so we know that any pre-ordered clause can be considered as a category. So if we just take that example, so if C is the pre-ordered clause, pre-order means, by pre-order we mean a relation which is reflexive and transitive on a set. So X is a set and there is a relation on X which is reflexive and transitive, and we denote that relation by less than or equal to. Then our C opposite would be what? C opposite would be nothing but X, but now the relation in place of less than or equal to would be greater than or equal to. How? Let us see. So object class in C and C opposite is same. Here it is X, here it is also X. So how did we define the arrows in this category C? If you remember, for any X and Y in this X, we define home XY in C as in this fashion. We defined it as X comma Y if X is less than or equal to Y, and phi the empty set otherwise. And identities of this C var, identity on any object X was nothing but this pair X comma X, because of reflexivity, since X is less than or equal to X for all X in X, so therefore we must have an arrow from X to X for each X, and that we denoted by X comma X. Now we define this C opposite from C itself. So X less than or equal to Y means that Y is greater than or equal to X. Okay, Y is greater than or equal to X. So X less than or equal to Y in C then it implies that there is an arrow from X to Y, that we call it X comma Y. Now X less than or equal to Y implies Y greater than or equal to X. So therefore in C opposite we have an arrow from Y to X. Okay, let us also call it as X comma Y. So an arrow from X to Y in C implies an arrow from Y to X in C opposite. So it means that home C opposite X comma Y is same as home C Y X, because any arrow in C gives rise to an arrow in C opposite, but in the reverse direction. So if C is a pre-ordered clause considered as a category, then C opposite is the same category, but just you change the relation. Instead of less than or equal to, you have now greater than or equal to. Now similar is the case with some other examples. Say for example, if we take we know that every monad can be considered as a category. Okay, so let C be a monad considered as a category. So C is suppose a monad M with identity E considered as a category is a monad considered as a category then what would be C opposite? The object. So object here is M, so the object in C opposite would also be M, but I will have a opposite composition, so I denote that composition by this cap and E, where this A composition cap B is nothing but B composition A. Means the composition of arrows in C opposite is just the reverse composition of arrows in C. You can see it here also. Suppose I have M to M A and M to M B, so I have this B dot A in C. Okay, but in C opposite I have just the direction in reverse order, so I have this, the direction is changed, the direction of the arrows is in the reversed order. So B dot A in C, it actually means that now A dot cap B in C opposite. So these were some of the examples of constructing the opposite or dual category of a given category. Now we come to some important conclusion regarding the statements concerning objects and morphism in a category C and the opposite category of C. So let me write it as a remark. So let S C opposite X. What is this? It is a statement concerning the object X in the category C opposite. Is what? A statement concerning an object X in the category C opposite. In the category C opposite. And now I take the opposite statement of this category. So as opposite, but in the category C. Instead of C opposite, now I am in the category C. This is what? A statement concerning, this would be the opposite statement of this statement. A statement concerning the object X in the category C. Category C. But this statement, so let us call this A, B. So B is the opposite statement of this statement, but this is in category C. Opposite of this as C opposite X. So what is my claim? So my claim is that, so what is our claim? I claim that every statement as this one, C opposite X in C opposite, can be translated into a logically equivalent statement, as opposite Cx in C. So claim actually says that suppose I have a statement concerning this object X in this category C opposite. So I can translate it a logically equivalent statement in the category C regarding this object X. I call it this as opposite X. Okay. So thus we can associate with every property P concerning object in C a dual property concerning objects in C. How? So thus we can associate with every property P concerning objects in C a dual property concerning objects in C. Objects in C. Okay. So let us just elaborate this claim, how this claim is true. So suppose I take this statement. So I take this statement that PCX. What is this? What is the statement? The statement says that for any C object A, there exists exactly one C morphism. One C morphism F from A to X. So this is a statement, just a statement. I'm claiming that in the category C, for any object A, there is exactly one C morphism, that is F from A to X. So to get its dual statement, I will apply two steps. So what is step 1? In step 1, I will replace all occurrences of C in this statement by C opposite. So in step 1, what do we do? In the statement PCX, replace all occurrences of C by C opposite. So I will get the statement PC opposite X. So I will replace C by C opposite. So what would be the statement? For any C opposite object A, there exists exactly one C opposite morphism F from A to X. Okay, but I can translate this, just see. So if I have a statement, see here, if I have a statement as C opposite X, I can have the statement in C but opposite to this statement concerning this object. So I will apply this. So step 2 is what? Translate this P C opposite X into the logically equivalent statement and that would be what? That would be P opposite. Now I will go in the category C. So this statement is in the category C opposite. Now again I am coming back to the statement P opposite, but in the category C. So now when I am coming from C opposite to C, I know that the direction of the arrows is changed. Okay, so I will get that for any, again I will replace C opposite by C. So for any C object A, there exists exactly one arrow F from, now I have from X to A. Okay, because in C opposite, suppose I have an arrow F from A to X, in C that arrow would be from X to A. So what do I get here? So I have obtained the opposite statement of this statement in category C, but I used the opposite category, the concept of opposite category. So for any statement regarding the object X, I get its opposite statement. And see, if you closely observe these two statements, this statement, this opposite statement is obtained from this statement just by reversing the direction of the arrow. Here the arrow was from F was from A to X, now the arrow is from X to A. Okay, so observe that this P opposite statement of this object X in C is obtained from the statement P by reversing the direction of arrows and the order in which they are composed. By reversing the direction of arrows and the order in which they are composed. They are composed. So in general, this given the statement and its equivalent statement, the statement P and the opposite statement, they are not equivalent. Means one implies other, the other may not imply the first one. So I will give an example to justify that these two statements, given a statement and its opposite statement, they are not equivalent. So see the example. So as a note, so in general, P opposite of this object X is not equivalent to P. For example, so example is what? You take the category C as the set category of sets, category of all sets. So this statement in set category would be what? So P set X is what? For any set A, there exists exactly one function. F from A to X. Okay. So this statement in set category is true if and only if this X is a singleton set. So this P set X holds if and only if the set X is a singleton set. Because if the set X is not singleton, you can have more than one functions from A to X. Say for example, this is the set A, this is the set X. So A has some members, and suppose X has more than one member. So X has two members. So you can have two functions here. You can define two distinct constant functions F. First, by giving all the elements the image this element, and then you can define G also by giving all the images, all the elements, the images as this element, so G. So you can have more than one function if the set X has more than one element. So this statement holds if and only if X is a singleton set. Now take the opposite statement. P opposite set X is what? For any set A, there exists exactly one function F from X to A. So for any set A, there exists exactly one function F from X to A. So this P opposite statement in set category regarding the object X holds if and only if X is the empty set. X is the empty set. So in that case, the function would be the empty function. Empty function means doing nothing. Okay? Because again, if the set X is non-empty, you can have more than one functions from X to A. So they're obviously not equivalent, because this statement is true if and only if X is the singleton set, and this statement is true if and only if X is the empty set. So therefore both the statements, they are not equivalent. So in a similar manner, so here we have seen that properties concerning the object X can have their opposite properties. Similarly, properties or statements concerning morphisms can have their opposite properties in a similar fashion. So again, as a note, you can write, so in a similar manner, any property about morphisms or arrows about morphisms in categories give rise to gives rise to opposite or dual property. Opposite or dual property. Okay. Now note that if a property concerning morphisms, I'll observe that if a property concerning morphisms concerns a morphism A to B, say F, then its dual concerns from B to A. Then its dual or opposite concerns from B to A. Okay. In particular, if a property concerns domain of a morphism, its dual actually concerns the codomain of this morphism. So let us see with the help of an example. Now consider the property of morphisms. Now consider the property, any property, the property of morphisms say from A to B I have a morphism F in C. So what is the property? I take this property. So I call this property a statement QCF. So regarding this morphism F. So I take this statement. There exists a C morphism from B to A, say G. With so B to A G and A to B now F. This is equal to A to A identity on A. That means that G composition F is identity on A in C. So I am taking this property of this morphism. So what is this property? This property says that suppose I have a morphism G from B to A in C. So I have a morphism F from A to B such that if I compose G with F, I get the identity morphism on A. So G composition F is identity on A. So this is the property of this morphism G, which says that this morphism G has the property that I have a morphism F from A to B such that G composition F is identity on A. Now, again, I apply the similar steps as I did in case of objects. So what is step 1? Replace C by C opposite wherever C occurs in this statement QCF. So replace C by C opposite in all occurrences of C. So then I will have this Q C opposite F. So now I am shifting from category C to the category C opposite when I replace C by C opposite. So the statement would be there exists a C opposite morphism from B to A G with A to B F, B to A G, such that G opposite composition F is identity on A in C opposite. Okay, but I can translate this QC opposite F into Q opposite F, but in C. How? I can come from C opposite to C, and the statement would be equivalent statement, the opposite statement, because when I am coming from C opposite to C, the direction of the arrows would be changed. So this statement would be then there exists a C morphism Now this morphism in C opposite is from B to A. Now in C it would be from A to B. G with, now A to B I have G. Now F was from A to B, it would be from B to A then. F with, now G composition F opposite would be replaced by F composition G equals to identity on A in C. Okay, now see here, Q's in the opposite statement of Q, the direction of the arrows in the composition is changed, and this was our claim, that when we take the opposite statement of a statement concerning morphisms, it would change the direction of the arrows and the way in which they are composed. Now in a similar fashion as in case of objects, we have seen that the opposite statement concerning an object is not equivalent to the given statement. Similar is the case here also. So as a note, you can just remember this. I would give the example in the next lecture. Q opposite in C concerning this morphism F is not equivalent to Q in C concerning the statement F. So I will provide an example how they are not equivalent in the next lecture. So see you in the next lecture.